Hello everyone and welcome back to Faithful to the Traitors. This time we are discussing Series 2. That's right, we're back.
We've been back
to the UK.
We've been back for a long time. Last year we made, 5 series of Faithful to the Traitors? You forget that the UK Series 1 was actually way back yonder in 2022. The end of 2022, and they've bumped it up to, or down, depends on how you look at it, they've moved it to January now. So then there's been a whole year since we've had a series of the UK version. But it's not like we've had nothing else to watch in between. We've had Australia, New Zealand, American series, 2 Australian series.
This is it. This is the main course.
This is where we started.
Yes.
This is where we cut our teeth, as it were. We found our way. We started off many moons ago. We did the very first series, and it was only an audio podcast then as well. And now here, look at us. We're in video form. Before we went and recorded, the first thing I said to you was, I need to change my jumper every episode. I don't think I have 12 jumpers. So it's never a good start, is it?
Well, as we always do, we need to start the show with my name, because I'm the most important. My name is Ben, and I am... Oh, what's that? Here's some wrestling.
You are cordially invited to join me at the Traitors' Castle. Yours faithfully.
We have a new character.
Is that a pigeon? Ollie the owl.
Yes, I love the owl. My favourite.
We've been introduced to obviously the budget has been just blown out of the water, and we've been introduced to some of the farmers as well. Claudia's henchmen who tie people up. I love that they all had like Uno brows and they all were like walking around.
They all look like groundskeeper Willie from The Simpsons if he was cast in real life.
Also, if they rip their shirt off, they'll be like, "Grease me up, Doris."
Yeah, grease me up, Claudia. But yeah, Claudia was back, Fringe was back, Foundation back, Castle back.
Claudia seemed to know her way this series as well. Did you not find that?
Red gloves.
She, like the first series, she was tiptoeing her way around, trying to get the feel to the show. She knows full well what the show's about now, and you could tell that she was enjoying it a lot. But especially when she was shouting at them, like she used to shout at the challenges in the first series, but like on this occasion, and she was bringing in the odd comment now and then as well, which you didn't. That's a kind of Roger Corser move, that is. So I feel like that her and Roger have had a few words exchanged.
Uncle Roger.
So
recently unemployed.
Or a traitor? You said your name.
Well, I am a faithful.
Faithful?
Unless I get a knock at the door tonight. And
you might get
invite them in.
Well, I'm Alex. Hello, everyone. And I am also a faithful. And as always, if you want to get in touch with the show and give us your comments about what's going on, you can get in touch with us, faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Traitors Podcast, or Instagram at Faithful to the Traitors. We actually had a few people get in touch with us live as we were watching this being aired on the BBC as well.
It's like there's an audience this time.
I know, it's almost like people are watching it. And if you enjoy listening to the podcast and you want to help us out, make the podcast even better, give us a budget, give us some henchmen we can have in the background, tying us up in a suggestive manner. You go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful and throw some gold discs our way.
Put them in slot machines.
Yep, we're gamblers.
Right, so, I mean, we're back to Series 2 of the UK. I love a Series 2 because not everything is the same. Claudia did a bit of edging when she said, everyone line up. Do you think you're good? Do you think you're bad? Line up. Ooh, 22 of you. But no, she's like, nah, get in the car.
Not going to do that again.
Get in the car.
Cheeky bastards, get inside. I thought they were going to be doing the New Zealand one.
Wait, well, before you start, we do not do spoilers for other series, remember? This is its own universe.
Literally in the 10 minutes of the first New Zealand series. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a spoiler if someone does end
it
up
might
watching.
be. So if we get any hate mail, it's directed to Alex.
Well, in the first series of the New Zealand Traitors, they did the lineup, but they did a twist where the person who thought they were going to win had the opportunity to take $10,000 or something and leave the game, like straight away, just quit the game, finish.
And that's what you thought they were going to do.
But they didn't, and then the person...
Right, that is a spoiler now.
Okay, but someone else did take it in the end, and then we were never to see them again. And they missed out on having a really, really fun time on the New Zealand series.
A camp old time.
Oh, hang on, do I hear... It's not an owl, no, it's our cat, who always seems to decide to destroy our recordings by making lots of noise in the background.
That's all right.
You'll get used to Charlie if you're new to this podcast. He likes making noise in the background.
So we've got 22 new faces to go through.
Yep.
Obviously, we do this at the beginning of every series that we do if you're a regular.
Mm-hmm.
We are here to discuss these people, but they're not as civilians. We're discussing them as contestants on The Traitors.
On The Traitors. Again,
when we say I hate you, Harry, or Andrew,
I like Harry. I love
or
Andrew.
Meg, we don't mean we hate you. We just mean in the game of The Traitors, okay?
Don't
It's
you
all
think
fun.
Meg, especially in this photograph, looks like... Who's that character in yellow jackets?
Misty.
Misty. Don't you
No.
think she looks like Misty in that
I like
picture?
Meg. She's
I
one of
like
my favourites.
Misty in yellow jackets, but
She's one of my
they
only
look the same.
favourites.
But don't you think she's got like their kind of face to say like that she's going to poison them all, put them all on magic mushrooms to find out who the traitors are?
She's taking it literally. Early favourite as well, Diane.
Oh, I love Diane.
Well, we're here.
Straight away, Diane. The accent,
Mm-hmm.
the Northern Irish accent. I just love it.
Yeah.
She reminds me of who's the one from Girls Aloud who lied about her age?
Nadine.
Nadine, yeah. She reminds me of Nadine. A young Nadine, I should say, because that's Diane. She's
So far, nice. I've not got any bad villain energy yet, really.
Is
Oh, I
making
love
my foot
Aubrey.
itch. No, he's started already with the I'm not here to make friends. I'm here and I hate everyone. And he's the oh,
Just
you
leave.
know,
Just, yeah.
I don't trust Charlie. It's such
I
a
like
naughty cat. The moment we press record, he starts
I
scratching.
tell
something.
you, it'll be edited out, so it's fine. Right, so we did the walk around with Claudia's footsteps.
That sounds like a game. Claudia's footsteps.
Play it at Christmas.
Yeah, it sounds like something on Squid Game. Maybe they'll introduce it to the traitors. One of you will be
possibly.
murdered in Claudia's footsteps.
So we've got 3 traitors picked.
I was surprised by the number, but then there was
Series 2 twist.
then they put a Series 2 twist in it.
I
So
think we're going to have a few of them, Series 2 twist.
yeah, so I wasn't as surprised by the number after they added twist. But were you pleased, disappointed? I mean, there was most of them when they were doing their interviews with Claudia, which is also a very unique thing in the UK version. They interview with Claudia, and Claudia apparently chooses who she
Executive
will be the
producer
traitor.
role.
Yeah. They all wanted to be traitors, apart from Diane. Diane was like, no, I don't want to be a traitor. I want to
But
be
I
faithful.
think she
I
was
want to
saying that.
investigate."
I think she was saying that to then because she thought she was cleverer than the producers.
I don't
Like, we're
think
going to
she
pick you
was.
then.
Diane / Pat Mullins, because she is with her staring, she just sits there and stares at them like intensely, just trying to work out what they were up to. I don't think Diane. No, I don't. I genuinely think she was being honest that she feels like she would be a really bad traitor, and she'd play a better role because I think she likes the murder mystery part of it all, and so I think she'd rather.
She likes questioning, doesn't she?
Yeah, she likes throwing
Listening to
accusations
breathing.
out.
Are you breathing heavily next to me?
She asked
why.
Harry, didn't she? Harry, why are you breathing heavily?
I'm not. I'm straight, mate. I'm good. I'm calm.
I'm straight, mate.
That's what he said. He said it wasn't me.
Well, I'm sure he didn't say I'm straight.
He didn't mean straight. He didn't mean not gay. He meant I'm cool, calm.
He should have made a joke of it though, because he made
That's what
himself
Zach
look
did.
obvious. He made it look obvious when he then started jumping on it. But
Well,
he
if-
should have said like, "Oh, Diana is saying this to you. Your perfume's really turned me on," or something. Really dumb like that.
You have to
Because
leave the show.
Let's be honest. Paul wasn't exactly subtle either, was
Well,
he?
while we're going to
Paul
talk
reminds
about
me of
bad
Van
traitors,
Gogh, as played in Doctor Who. The actor who played Van Gogh in Doctor Who.
God, yeah. So yeah, when we were talking about bad traitors, then Paul was, took
he
the
was
blindfold
terrible.
off.
He was giggling. He was bouncing up and down. He had his hands clenched in his lap like that, like a kid, like he's just been given a lollipop.
I know his voiceover was like, I'm acting really natural and normal, and they cut to him and he's like upright with his hands hidden, and not the best. Ash as well was the other traitor, along with Harry and Paul. So
Ash was a wild card for me. I was surprised by Ash.
she's got no inheritance to make, so all the money she wants is for herself.
Yeah, but okay,
It's her only
fine.
step up.
Fine, fair enough, Ash. That's you want to make some money. You want an inheritance to to get you through your old age. Miles, why do you want to win the money? I want to show my children that by lying and cheating you can earn money.
No, that was funny,
What
wasn't
a weird
it?
thing to say. It's like my partner and I have just got 2 children, just adopted 2 children or had 2 children, and I want to show them that Daddy can earn money any means possibly.
Why do you want to be a traitor? I adopted 2 children. It's like, well, what's I got to do anything? So yeah, very odd.
Did Miles also say that like being a vet was like not a really hard job.
So it's not as glamorous as you expect.
That's it. It's like, I
pardon?
never thought that being a vet was glamorous. Miles did say a few things that kind of like popped out of nowhere. So Ash, Harry, and Paul, all traitors, all wanted to be traitors, so that was fine. And then they went up to Traitors Tower, and then they're told by Claudia, you need to choose a fourth traitor to then join the team,
The turret.
the turret team, the team turret, to carry on. And one of the obvious ones was obviously Diane, because Diane immediately started throwing accusations out quite loudly in front of the whole group that she thought that Harry was being, as you said, breathing heavily, bit suspicious around the round table. And as soon as she said that, I thought to myself, yeah, you're putting yourself up in the firing line here, Diane, because that's the kind of thing that gets people to join rather than get murdered.
Or you get an early murder, like just to get you out of the way because you're asking too many questions too early. Before we move on, then, our traitors, sorry.
Oh, the fact file.
We have the fact file is back, everyone.
I mean, if you can listen or watch any other podcast in the world, but you'll never have Ben's fact file of all the contestants of the Traitors, which he gets off some fluff piece online and then doesn't proofread it beforehand. Then we all have to sit there and listen to the nonsense that they come
That's what
out with.
happens. It's live. It's happening.
It's live. It's happening.
So yeah, we're going to go through the traitors, and then every time someone's murdered or banished, we then go through their fact file because we give everyone their little time in the sun, don't we?
Good. They should all have time in the sun. So if they get murdered, banished, or become traitors,
Yeah, they get their fact file.
eventually we get through all 22. There you go.
The final is riveting. Because of the amount of fact filing we do on a final, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So are you ready, everyone?
I'm ready.
What's your name and where do you come from?
Right. So our first traitor.
I wonder what you're doing with Cilla. Well, again, before we record, this is behind the curtain stuff. Ben was listening to loads of clips of Cilla Black. Now, you normally say that she honks like a goose. And so I was a bit surprised when you were doing that, but now I know why. Carry on. Sorry,
Yeah,
my
we're
bad
going
for
to do
interrupting.
the fact file.
Yes, carry
What's your
on.
name and where do you come from?
Right. So first traitor is Ash. Taking part in search of adventure is Ash. She's an events coordinator from London. She too thinks she's got a better chance of winning if she's a traitor.
Oh.
If she's a faithful, however, she says that she's good at spotting a liar. Quote, it could be about someone's energy. Ash is 45 also says, quote, human beings do things without realising they're doing them. Micro expressions and little physical behaviours. It's easier to see other people's faces than it is to see your own.
Ah. Oh, that brings us quite nicely to that. I think it's Meg. Oh, no, it's Molly. Molly is partially deaf, I believe. Is that correct? And so she said that she would use her visual skills in order to help improve her choose the right traitor.
It may not be Molly.
I think it's Molly.
Molly, Evie and Charlie look very similar in these three photos I'm looking at.
Molly, Evie and Charlie?
Yes.
Well, because they're all blonde.
Yeah, they're all blonde and white.
What about Tracy and Sonia? Or Sonja?
Well, Tracy we need to talk about later because she's clairvoyant.
They've done it again.
We're worried.
Every series of the Traitors have to have a bloody clairvoyant.
We've had one good clairvoyant and the rest bad.
That's
so
true.
On the fence on Trace still, but you know.
Well, not really, because
rocky
she
time.
literally said the one thing that really rubs me the wrong way the moment I hear it, and that is, I'm going to ask the ghosts to tell me who I think the traitors are. It's like, for God's sake, the ghosts aren't going to tell you who the traitors are.
It made me laugh as well when she was like, I trained to be a... It's like, what? Did you train to be a clairvoyant? What is this training?
There must be a qualification out there where you can
I
just...
thought it was a gift.
No, I think you...
Are you born with it?
Born with it.
Or is
but
it clairvoyance?
you need to train it. It's like learning the piano. You're born with the skill, with the art.
Right.
You have to then practice in order to become expert at it.
Of course.
So it's like any skill, I suppose. That makes sense. But at the same time, no spirit is going to tell you, because if that's the case, then she's won the game, and so there's no point us carrying on with any
Well,
of
the
this.
track record for clairvoyance ain't great, but
5 for
we
1,
live in
isn't it?
hope.
Yeah, but that, yeah. But even the clairvoyant that I think you're talking about ended up being a little bit...
Spoilers.
by the end of it, dancing around.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, looking into mirrors. Of
Looking
course, as
into
well.
mirrors, talking to herself, and telling everyone to vote her out.
So, what about the mission then? Because
Hang on, you haven't done your.
I want to do them all in one. Right? I thought I was going to
That's what you
spread myself out.
Well, no, because
Right.
I you can spread yourself in all you like, Ben, but we can throw it in. Give me something
right.
about Harry. Go on, throw. Some
What's your name and where do you come from?
My name's Harry. Right. Age just 22. Can you believe it? Little
He joined
baby.
the army at 16, I believe.
He's a colonel, isn't he? I don't know. We'll find out in the fact file. Harry is an engineer in the British Army. He plans to put his work experience to use on the traitors and describes himself as having no fear. Quote from Harry. While also being able to work in teams and problem solve, Harry is desperate to be a traitor, but either way, he's going in there to win it.
Whoa.
Big words for a little man.
Darling to Miles as well. It's like, I'm in the army, darling. And
Maybe.
it was such a weird thing to say. Like, it was.
He had lots of screen time early on, lots of bits to camera. I think he's going to be a favourite.
Well, as I said, people had been getting in touch with us on social media, as you can yourselves. Don't forget, at Faithful to the Traitors on Instagram, at Traitors Podcast on Twitter/X. Everyone is saying that Harry is Sam 2.0 from the Australian series of
No more.
Traitors. Again, if you know, you know. But I have to say that, yes, he feels that that's the... I was a bit
Not
worried
quite
with-
there yet.
I was a bit worried when Sonia walked into the room with all the portraits and she started finger banging them. I did,
Finger bang.
Yeah,
Finger gunning.
finger banging. No, she was finger banging them. She kind of went, and I thought, oh, don't do that, because that's what Sam did when he had the touch of the shoulder.
Sonia reminds me. She looks like Sonia. She looks like a Coronation Street character.
She does, and she's stirring already.
She knits with a blindfold on as well, which is
well. Again, please, thank you, Studio Laba and the BBC for doing such wonderful efforts again with the VTs this year.
we love them.
When they knock on the door and they all go, and they look toward the door. There was Andrew with his top off doing the muscles.
Yeah.
There was Sonia knitting with a blindfold on, and there was Diane sitting there with a cocktail.
Yeah, and was it
a cigarette?
Anthony?
She looked like
No, it was not Anthony. It was the
Miles.
It was Miles was reading a book.
Miles was reading a book. Miles was the only sensible one there, but I am very much looking forward to seeing what the rest of those VT clips are.
We're hoping for another shower/bathtub.
Well, when they go,
Yeah, we don't know who's
bubbles
going to be
away.
in, but my money is on Brian, Jazz, Harry, Paul, Johnny, Zach, or Ross.
do you think you'll find Meg with a pestle and mortar, like grinding up some kind of potion and putting it into a
I
cocktail?
think, not that I want to spoil fact files for the future, but I think Meg is an illustrator, so I'm sure she'll have an easel when she'll be painting. Painting things.
She one of those illustrators that licks the brush with her own spit.
Possibly. We'll have to wait to find
I
out.
hate that. My art teacher used to do that. We sit there kind of like doing something at the desk, and you just look up and she'd be there and she'd go, and then start painting. She'd put it in the ink, and it's just gross. Anyway, what about our mate Paul, or Van Gogh as I'm calling him right now?
One more then.
What's your name and where do you come from?
Not going to get old, is it? Right, so Paul is a business manager and he has dabbled in stand-up comedy in the past.
No.
And he hopes that his sense of humour will allow him to diffuse any tensions within the group. The 36-year-old from Manchester would be buzzing, quote, to be a traitor. It's great to be a faithful and find the traitors. I want to be the one that people are trying to find. I would just try to be calm. Nope, failed. Normal, failed. And just like me.
I mean, we don't know what he's like yet. We only seen half an hour. But maybe that's why I'm so happy. His laughing and bouncing on the chair was such an obvious thing. And I'm so surprised no one spotted that. It was so obvious. It was like he was deliberately... It was almost like he was trying to bluff his way into people thinking that he was a traitor to then go, oh no, but that'd be too obvious if I did that.
Far too obvious.
And he made the first big mistake at the breakfast table. I mean, Zach made a bigger one later, even though Zach's not a traitor. But Paul made the biggest mistake first of all by saying, oh, I think there's 3 traitors. And then someone said, oh, how do you know? And he said, oh, no, what I mean is I think there's 2 and then there's one more recruited. And then everyone was like, but how do you know? And he was just like that. croissant.
Like you're saying, you just mentioned, Zach, the famous mistake that people make. on these
Always
shows.
shows. Yeah.
Where you say something by accident and someone hears, and then that follows you and haunts you for about 8 episodes.
I had a lot of hope for Zach until that moment came up, and everyone jumped on it the moment he said it as well. So they finished playing the game, and Zach said, "I'm going to sleep well tonight." He doesn't have the shield, so he had no reason to say that.
Series 2 twist there. The shield.
Well, the shield. Well, before we do the Series 2 twist, do you want to talk about who's up for being potentially traitors, or do you want to do the Series 2 twist first?
Well, they did like a we don't really talk about missions much, do we? But they had to light a thing on fire and swim in there.
They were atrocious. Their teamwork was terrible, so I don't hold out a lot of hope for any team games going forward.
Going in circles, literally.
One of the boats was going around in circles. Jazz decided to jump into the water to get himself the shield, because now the shield's are integrated into the game. So basically you can choose whether you want to kind of like it's a decision of whether you want to risk losing the game in order to lose a few people by trying to get shields, if that makes sense. So
or you risk upsetting your teammates, or like not looking like a team player by going.
Yeah, but I would say on this game particularly, that's probably not because there was no banishment this episode. So, and it was straight away a murder. So I kind of understand why they did that.
You want to get through the first murder, ideally.
Yeah, you want to get past the first murder of straight away. And Kyra was the first one to pick up a shield. Jazz jumped into the water, but then wasn't allowed back on the boat. Again, it was like, come on, guys, you still need to win the game. Harry did it, but
Traitor Harry.
Harry, I didn't notice him doing it.
Well, he did. He said like he was playing such a good game by no one suspecting him during the challenge. He was good at the challenge and putting in his work. So he thought, I'll get the shield, and then people, what, a traitor wouldn't want a shield, so I'm going to get it, is what he said.
Right.
Theory.
But then Claudia said, like, here's your opportunity. You don't have to say to anyone, though, if you have the shield or not. I just realised where they've done it. They've done it because people used to go into the shield room, and then if 6 people went into the shield room,
so it was
safe.
Safe, yeah.
They've done it on purpose because you can't hide behind the group mentality anymore. One person would have the shield amongst the 6 of them.
Yeah, because it looked like Jazz and Harry didn't want to say, but then who has the shield?
Kyra was the first one to put her hand
She
up.
put her hand up straight away because everyone saw her do it, and then the other 2 was like, oh, I have to.
Well, no, someone then shouted out and said, "Oh, we know you did, Jazz." And Jazz was like, "Yeah." And then Harry kind of just joined the group and just said, "Oh yeah, I've got it too." No, it makes sense now. I did wonder why they kind of got rid of it, because I like the armory. I really liked that game.
It was a bit suspicious though. Like, did they just put it in a box for who they wanted? At least this way.
That's true.
If you go for it, you go for
It's
it.
every man and woman for themselves. And it didn't affect them winning the game either. So they're already built a prize pot.
I was a bit
15,000.
suspicious when they had 40 minutes. Well, that's too long.
But there was a lot of
30
elements in
minutes,
the games. to
Then
be fair.
Claudia got her guards out and got them tied up.
Her
I was like,
henchmen.
yes.
She got them tied up. Because that was another decision. Do you help each other untie, or do you go straight to get a shield? Because who escaped? Was it Charlie who got herself out straight away?
It's one of the blonde white women, Charlie, Evie, or Molly. I don't know.
They're
which
blonde
one.
and they're white.
I don't know. I can't remember. The 3 mixed together.
I'm sure it was Charlie. I think Charlie escaped the rope first, and she then regrettably didn't go for the shield, and she was like, "Oh, I wish I'd gone for the shield now." Johnny actually, because Charlie had only one hand, she said herself, didn't she? She had only half a limb on her hand.
I'm not sure if that is correct though. I'm just saying that.
Johnny also he lost a leg during his time in Afghanistan.
Yes.
So that was another story that came out. I saw that. And have you noticed that they're all being very honest with each other as well, in the sense that none of them are lying about their relationship with all their jobs? Because again, when Miles said he was a vet, and I forget who the other person was. It was one.
Molly. Molly has the one who got out first.
Oh, okay. So Molly was the first one out. But when Miles said he was a vet and then someone else said they were a vet, I thought, oh God, imagine if you lied and then you said you were a vet and you weren't a vet.
I think Charlie or Evie was the vet. One of those two.
One of the blonde white women.
When one of the blonde white women get murdered or banished, we'll be on a clearer path.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. That's good to know.
Right, so
Charlotte was very quiet. All the people on the show, I can kind of think about something that they had said or done.
She looks like the woman from You, series 4, his new English girlfriend.
She looks like the kind of woman who'd like go to London to buy a bag. Do you know what I mean?
Or a croissant.
Yeah. Should go to London to get something from Pret, even though she's got a Pret down the road, but that's not good enough. She needs to go to London Pret. She's that kind of woman. She looks the kind of woman who would suit a 80s/90s Nescafe advert when they used to shake the beans.
It was all golden and silky.
You know what I mean? Like she would have Anthony, the guy from Buffy, come into her house, and he would be like, "Ooh, your coffee is very silky and delicious," and they'd have like some kind of affair. That's who Charlotte reminds me of.
Good.
An 80s, 90s icon from a coffee advert.
Right, so before we run out of time then, should we talk about the potential, because there's no banishment this episode.
No, just a recruitment and then a murder. But we ended the episode not knowing who's been recruited and who's getting murdered.
No.
A typical BBC cliffhanger. Oh, and we must also talk about your feelings of them releasing all 3 episodes in one go after episode 1. They did that last time.
Good idea.
Oh, you're pleased with that, to get people on board again?
Yeah.
But then do you want the episodic after this? So episode
one
4.
every 3 days. One every day for 3 days.
Yeah, but what I mean is from episode 4, do you want them to then release the next 3 episodes?
No, they're not.
Good. They're not doing that.
No.
Good, I'm pleased about that.
Just the first 3, and then from that it's 1 a day.
That's fine by me then. I'm happy with that. So let's talk about the people who have been recruited. So Diane is the first one that Harry is desperate to recruit because Diane
I think it's Diane.
Do you think it's Diane?
But they keep going on about how much of a good decision they've made. It's either Diane, because she was keeping very out of it and not talking and just looking at people.
She does remind me of Pat Mullins from Chris Lilly's character.
Or it's Sonia, because Sonia was the other option.
I think it's Sonia.
Yeah.
Because Sonia went into the breakfast room and the first thing she did was go up to Ash and said, "Are you a traitor? Are you a traitor?"
Because the person who's being recruited doesn't know who the other 3 traitors are.
No.
So I don't know if she did it on purpose.
I think she forgot that she was in a room of people who were going to accuse her of being a traitor.
Yeah.
She was actively trying to find a traitor so she could find her ally.
Found Ash, which is typical, who is a traitor. And I don't think Ash is getting on with her very well, because during the mission they were arguing a lot.
Yes, so I think it's an unfortunate decision if they do end up being together as traitors, especially since I think that Paul and Harry are already showing that they're very close. And we've seen it again in plenty of series prior to this one, where the 2 guys team up and they get all the girls out when they're traitors. And I feel like Paul and Harry are they've taken their first steps down that road that they're going to get rid of them.
Came in, it was them 2 and not Ash. It's like, why have you done that? Why aren't all 3 there to take your hoods off at once? Huh? So I don't like that.
Yeah,
I hope it is another girl.
Yeah, Ash seemed like the spare part. But, well, I hope then if that is another girl, then it's going to be, or woman, we should say, that it's Diane, because I think Diane could hold her own. I think Diane plays I'm just Diane.
And Diane scares Harry.
And Diane scares Harry, which I would love to see them argue up in the Traitors Tower immediately. So it's Diane or Sonia. I think it's going to be Sonia, though. But there are 2 more names. So it's Andrew, who likes getting his chesty dumplings out and he likes doing his muscles. He's Welsh, the most Welsh man you would ever meet. From the Valleys, no less. I don't think he'd make a good traitor, though. I really don't. I think he'd be too bulldozer.
And the other one was Miles. I don't know, it may be Miles, but...
Miles is the other one that they talked about. Again, I don't think Miles would suit the role very well. No offence, Miles. I know you've got 2 kids now, but I don't think you'd suit the role very well. And I have to say, and I love Miles, I love you dearly, mate, but honestly, I don't think he's long for the game. I just don't think he's got the stamina for the game. But then I love being corrected. I love being wrong.
Well, we'll make our predictions after the next episode once we know all 4 traitors, and then we'll see who gets through.
What's your feelings on Brian? No, you've got to meet me here.
Lovely photography.
Do you want to send some photographs?
Yeah, I like his style, actually. His tucked-in t-shirt / vest with a shirt undone.
Is it the tuck where it's tucked one side
No,
and loose on the other? Okay, cool.
Yeah, like Brian, like Jazz. I've already gone through the list of them all the men.
Have you? You're not with me, you haven't.
Zach, Ross, Johnny, they're all there.
3
white blonde women. What more can I want?
What more can you want from a TV
What
series?
perfect casting again.
Exactly.
Right, well, there you go. Then that is episode 1 wrapped up, I think. And we, of course, were feeling...
I'm energized, I'm infused, I'm enthralled.
That's how I feel after when the credits rolled.
jokes aside, because you said I like the casting, but obviously making a few jokes because the guys are quite good-looking guys, and there's 3 women with blonde hair.
Yeah.
Genuinely, what do you think about the casting? I feel for me, just for me, that they've gone into this. They've obviously not new. This isn't new to them this time round. It's not like series 1 where they're all kind of they're all finding their feet together. They all know what the game is now this time
Apart from the
round.
twists, Claudia twist.
They know essentially what the essence of the game is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like the team are as well bonded immediately.
It's only been one episode.
No, I can instantly see it because in series 1, it was fun. Everyone was kind of like joyous. It was like, oh, we're here, we're on this show. We don't know what it's going to be like.
I don't know how evil it is. Yeah.
We don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to be a bit of fun, and I feel like they're all there already, kind of a little bit like worried and tense, and because they know what the game's like.
And right to be, because Zach was a bit fun. He said one sentence, a bit of fun, and now look what's happened.
Yes, which is what I mean.
Yeah,
So they
can't afford to be fun.
You can't be fun. Exactly. You cannot be fun in this game.
Only Claudia and the owl.
There's no room for fun and her henchmen.
What drink would you have had? Was it a Fruity Faithful or a Tipple Traitor, whatever
Tipple.
it was?
I'd have a Fruity Faithful, obviously, because I am a faithful.
All right. Sure. Sonia had a Traitor one, didn't she? Maybe that's a little hint.
She
said don't read into it, but here I am.
Double bluff.
Talking about the show for half an hour. Right, so if everyone wants to get in touch with us then, because we're recording this live as it airs in the UK, so you have time to email or get in touch and all sorts.
So don't forget, if you are listening to us on your favourite podcast app, to subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube by searching Faithful to the Traitors podcast, obviously we're in video form. Hello, we're on video.
And on Spotify we're on video as well, by the way.
Of course we are. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, tick the box, do all those things, and so you'll never miss out on an episode of our venture into series 2 of the UK Traitors. You can get in touch with us at any time with any of your questions or thoughts about this series at faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. You can find us on X, formerly the Bird app, at Traitors Podcast, or Instagram at Faithful to the Traitors. And again, if you want to help support the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful.
Ooh, lovely. Right, so we've got episode 2 and 3 coming out soon then, so make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you soon when we find out who the quadruplet are.
The Holy Square.
The Sinister Four.
The Sinister...
Right, so we'll see you for episode 2 very soon. Goodbye.
Bye.